Welcome in. This is a 40-minute practice cultivating space in the hamstrings today. We'll start with the feet about the distance of the hips and bring the palms together at the heart. Go ahead and close the eyes, bow the chin down gently towards your chest as you shift the gaze inside and begin to notice the sound of your breath. And the hamstrings are definitely a sensitive place for many of us, a place that often holds tension, and that tension is sometimes associated with holding on to old narratives or old stories. It can also be associated with times where we've needed to protect ourselves. So sense today, as you step onto your mat, the opportunity to step into yourself and to release any blockages, release any resistance, release anything old that you no longer need to hold on to. As you continue to close your eyes and step into your breath, seal your intention in. On your next inhale, blink your eyes open, release your arms down by your sides as you exhale. Inhale, circle your arms to the sky, interlace all your fingers except your first fingers and point those toward the ceiling above. As you exhale over to the right into an easy side stretch, rooting down through the outer edges of your feet, continue to drop your tailbone long toward the mat so it's a nice side stretch rather than a back bend. Inhale back through the center and exhale over to the left, easy side stretch. Low belly lifting, the thighs are still firm as the kneecaps lift. On the inhale, back to the center. As you exhale, dive and forward fold over the thighs, melt in half. On the inhale, glance out halfway, draw the spine out long, and the hands, of course, can come to the shins. And pause here for a moment. Notice that your thighs are firm, your legs are strong as you pull your chest out, as you get long across your back. On your next exhale, plant your hands to the mat, and for the first round, step your feet back, upper push-up plank position, and hold. In upper push-up, feel the forearms gathering in, feel the heels driving toward the back of the mat, and sense the crown of the head reaching forward, and you can feel how strong the legs are. So if someone were to come behind you and gently place their hands onto the roots of your hamstrings, you could put a little pressure into their hands, firming your thighs up toward the sky just like that. Take a goodbye inhale, upper push-up plank pose, and as you exhale, lower down slow all the way to the mat. Release the body flat to the floor, and with the tops of the feet flat to the mat, for your first round, inhale to cobra. Lift the heart, roll the shoulders back, feel the collarbones spreading and widening across the chest. As you exhale, lower the heart, chest, and chin toward the mat. Tuck the toes. Feel the kneecaps lift as you press your way back through plank pose. On your way back, downward facing dog. Sit bones to the sky. Inner hand pressing down onto the mat. And in your first downward facing dog, sense into the backs of your legs. How are they feeling today? Are things tight? Are things open? Just be aware of what's there rather than judging it or categorizing it. Just sensing into the opportunity that exists in the backs of your two legs today. With the fronts of your heels melting down toward the mat and your legs strong, take a deep inhale, press the chest back. As you exhale, gaze forward, bend your knees, step or lightly float to the top of the mat. On the inhale, glance out, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold, melt back in. On the inhale, sweep the arms up, rise high, interlace the fingers once again overhead. Exhale to the right, deep, easy side stretch. Inhale back to the center, and exhale over to the left. Inhale back through the middle. Exhale, dive and forward fold, melt down in half. Legs strong, inhale, glance out, lengthen the spine. Hands to the mat as you exhale, step back or float back to chaturanga to release to the mat. Inhaling cobra or upward facing if you're warm and you're ready. Exhale, tuck the toes, firm the thighs back, downward facing dog. And see if you can just welcome yourself into a still down dog. And welcome yourself into the ever-increasing smooth rhythm of your breath. That this is an opportunity for you to smooth things out on your path. Take a big inhale, press the chest back. Gaze forward, bend the knees, step or lightly float to the top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep and rise high on the breath. Interlace the fingers over to the right as you exhale. Inhale, back to the center line. Exhale, over to the left. Inhale, back through the middle. Exhale, dive and fold. Firm the thighs as you release. Inhale, glance out, kneecaps lift. Exhale, hands down, step or lightly shoot the toes to chaturanga to release. Inhale, cobra or upward facing, shoulders back. Exhale, tuck the toes as you press downward facing dog. And look back at your toes. Notice that your heels are hidden out of sight behind your second and third toes. So the outer edges of your feet are parallel to the outer edges of your mat. Last cycle like this. Big inhale as you stretch back. Gaze forward, bend your knees, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen the heart. Exhale, forward fold and keep the space. Inhale, sweep and rise high on the breath. Interlace the fingers as you exhale to the right side stretch. Inhale, back through the middle. Exhale, over to the left. Inhale, back through the center. Exhale, dive and fold as the kneecaps lift. Inhale, glance out. Exhale, hands down, step or lightly float the toes back through chaturanga. Big inhale, cobra or upward facing. Exhale, tuck the toes, press back, downward facing dog. As you get there within the stillness of your pose together, let's take a deep inhale through the nose and open the mouth. On the inhale, press the chest back. As you exhale, gaze forward, bend your knees, step or lightly hop to the top of the mat. On the inhale, glance out halfway. And as you exhale, forward fold and heel toe the feet about the distance of the hips. Keeping the chest heavy over the thighs, reach down and hook your big toes with your first two fingers. On the inhale, glance out halfway. And exhale, flare the elbows, pour the chest over the thighs. So if you're at home and you feel like the toes are really far away, of course you can hold opposite elbows as you fold forward instead. But see if you can find the right balance for you, which might mean that the knees have a little bit or even a generous bend to help you soften into the hamstrings, to help you lengthen, especially the low back. The two are often connected. Take one more deep inhale here. As you exhale, release the toes, stay down low, and heel toe the feet back together side by side. With your feet together and your fingertips down low, on the inhale, lift your left leg the height of your left hip. And as you lift your left leg the height of your left hip, point your left pinky toe down toward the mat. Beautiful. And as you point your left pinky toe down toward the mat, see if you can roll your outer left hip down toward the floor so your low back is like a tabletop. Rise to your fingertips, glance out halfway, pull the chest out, make some space across the sides of your waist. And if it's better for you to stay here today, you absolutely can. But if you feel like you have the space, run the arms down by the sides or even bring the hands to the heart for third warrior, a moment to balance on your strong right leg. Now your right knee might maintain a little bit of that micro bend that you had in your forward fold, and that would be great. That would help you to rotate the outer left hip toward the mat. Notice that as you float in space that you haven't begun to hold the breath. See if you can continue to breathe. Take one more big inhale at the top. Release your hands to the mat as you exhale. Keep your left leg lifted, standing splits. Walk your hands in either side of your right foot, and if that's enough, stay there. If you have the space, maybe you wrap your right forearm around your calf. If you have the space, maybe even both hands wrap around the ankle if that feels accessible to you today. Knowing that there are always options in your practice and that this moment is about you breathing into that right hamstring and opening up space. Take one more big inhale, lift the left leg, but keep the hips square. Left toes meet the right as you exhale to forward fold in half. Inhale, pull the chest out. Exhale, forward fold and mount. And then just right over to your second side. On the inhale, lift your right leg the height of your right hip, and it's slow and steady so you can really feel the muscle hugging onto the bone. It's a float rather than a kick. On the inhale, glance out, rise to your fingertips. So you start to lengthen the spine and you start to take some of the rounding out of the back. If you're at home and it's better for you to stay here, then stay here. But if you have the space, third warrior, run the arms down by the ribs. Notice that as you gaze ahead of the front of your mat, you continue to welcome in the breath. So important to continue to breathe rather than to hold the breath and resist falling out of the pose. How great would it be if we could breathe and fall out of it and still stay cool on the inside? Take one more big inhale here. As you exhale, release the hands to the mat. Crawl the hands in either side of your left foot. Wrap maybe your left forearm around your left calf, and that might be plenty as you draw the chin to the shin. Maybe you wrap both arms around your calf, both forearms, and hugging yourself in for what we come to call supreme balance sometimes. And just notice that your head is heavy, that your jaw is soft, and that your breath is still smooth and even. Take one more big inhale as the right leg lifts. As you exhale, plant the right toes next to the left to fold in half. Inhale, glance out halfway. Exhale, forward fold back in. Bend the knees, drop the hips, circle the arms to the sky. Utkatasana, this is going to feel really good after that. Let the hamstrings open up. Let the tailbone continue to drop. And this is always one of my favorite poses for opening up the base of the body. Always feel a little bit more flexibility after this shape. Keep what you have. Draw your front ribs down toward the mat. Take a big inhale at the top. As you exhale, dive and fold in half. Inhale, glance out halfway. Exhale, hands down. Step or lightly float the toes back through the vinyasa release. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, tuck the toes, firm the thighs, press back. On the inhale, lift the right leg to the sky. As you exhale, step the right foot forward, pivot the back foot flat. First warrior is your inhale. Circle the arms to the sky. Pause at the top of your first warrior of the day. And then for a moment, go ahead and back up off of your right knee a little bit. So bring the right leg not quite towards straight, but pull the right knee back away from the right ankle. Pause there for a second. Drop your tailbone down toward the mat. And as you drop your tailbone down toward the mat, lift your two frontal hip points towards your face. Drag your low belly in towards your spine. Keep that, and then re-bend your front right knee. Sit deep into your front right thigh. As your palms reach up, take a big inhale, maybe gaze up. You could touch the palms if you'd like. Exhale, both hands to the mat, step back, lower slow, and release all the way to the mat. Inhaling cobra or up dog if that's best. Exhale, tuck the toes, press back, downward facing dog. Lift the left leg on the inhale. As you exhale, step the left foot forward, pivot the back foot flat. Inhale, first warrior, circle the arms to the sky. As you circle the arms to the sky, pausing in first warrior, same thing on this side. See if you can come out of the front leg a little bit and then lengthen your low back down toward the floor. Yeah, lift your front hip points towards your face. Keep the length through the spine, and then as you're ready, re-bend the left knee. Beautiful, you guys. Take a big inhale, reach up, maybe touch the palms and connect. As you exhale, both hands come to the mat, lower slow and release. Inhale, lifting the heart, the chest. Exhale, tuck the toes, firm the thighs, let the fronts of the heels melt to the mat. And give yourself a couple of really good deep breaths here in downward facing dog. Breathe into the backs of the legs. And even though we're focusing on the legs today, make sure that you continue to bear the burden of the pose between the legs and the arms. So the palms are pressing, the outer arms are rolling away from the sides of the head, and the forearms are actively lifting up toward the top of the mat. Take a big inhale, stretch back, gaze forward, bend the knees, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, glance out and lengthen. Exhale, forward fold and melt. Bend the knees, drop the hips. Inhale, chair pose, just one breath this time. Dive and fold, exhale and half. Inhale, glance out and lengthen the spine. Exhale, the hands come down, step or shoot the toes back to release. Inhale, cobra, upward facing dog, lift the chest. Exhale, down dog, tuck the toes and press back. Inhale, right leg to the sky, lift it up and back. Exhale, step the right foot forward, spin the back foot flat. One breath, first warrior. Inhale, circle the arms up. Vinyasa is your exhale. Hands come down, step back, lower slow on your breath. Then inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, tuck the toes. Use the belly to pull back. Left leg to the sky. Inhale as you lift. Lightly step it forward on the exhale. Back foot pivots down. Inhale, reach the arms up like you're breaking the surface of the earth. Exhale, both hands come down to the mat. Step back and lower slow. The elbows hug the waist. Deep inhale, lift the sternum up. Exhale, tuck the toes, press back, downward facing dog. Good, and just give yourself a moment, maybe even close your eyes, and and sense that your inhales are welcoming in all of this beautiful space that you're creating. And it's as if your exhales just kind of drag out anything that's there to release, any kind of dark corners, any little cobwebs, just letting the exhales really clean and carry away the stuff you're ready to let go of. One more round like this. Take a big inhale, stretch back, gaze forward, bend the knees, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, pull the chest out. Exhale, forward fold and melt. Bend the knees, drop the hips. Just one breath in chair pose today. As you exhale, dive and fold in half. Inhale, lengthen the sides of the waist. Exhale, hands come down, step or shoot the toes back to release. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing, press back. Right leg to the sky on the inhale. Right foot steps lightly as you exhale. First warrior, inhale, reach the arms up. Use the exhale, plant the hands down, step back, continue to press breath out as you release. Then inhale, feel the collarbones rise. Exhale, down dog to shift back. Inhale, left leg sweeps up and back. Step the left foot forward, pivot the back foot flat. Inhale, first warrior, circle the arms. Exhale, hands come down, step back, lower slow. Inhaling, cobra or upward facing. Exhale, down dog, tuck the toes, press everything back. On the inhale, lift the right leg up and back. As you exhale, step the right foot forward to the top of the mat. Spin the back foot flat. First warrior is your inhale. Circle the arms to the sky. As you lift the chest, drop the tailbone, take a goodbye inhale at the top. Open up, second warrior, spread your arms out wide. So there's that little shift that takes place, the front heel aligning with the back arch. Keep what you have in warrior two, your gaze ahead at the horizon, your shoulders soft. And give your focus back down into your legs once again. Notice how strong your back left thigh stays. So it's not just about the right thigh descending toward the mat, it's about the left thigh pressing back. Keep the legs as they are, and just reach your arms up by your ears. Like you started in Surya Namaskara A, interlace the fingers, except the first fingers, point those to the sky. As you point those to the sky, continue to wrap the left ribs back a little bit, take a big inhale at the top, and as you exhale, start to lean out halfway, as if you were going to go into side angle pose. So you might not get all the way to halfway. If you're a third of the way, that's great. Sense, if you could, length through your bottom right side ribs, get longer through your right waist, and you might even feel the top left ribs soften down toward the mat just a little bit. So important here what Molly's doing with her ribs drawing down toward the mat and her low belly hugging in, so her core is supporting the pose, it's not in her back. On the inhale, come back through the center, send the fingertips up. Exhale, spread the arms out wide, back to warrior two. Inhale, reverse it, sweep the right arm up and overhead. As you exhale, come back through warrior two. Inhale to straighten your front right leg. As you straighten your front right leg, go ahead and shorten the stance up today. Heel toe the back foot in. Give yourself a little shorter distance between the feet. Legs are still strong. Take an inhale at the top. Reach the right arm out. Triangle pose. Right hand down, left arm to the sky. Legs are still very strong. Kneecaps are still drawing up toward the roots of the hips. Take a big inhale here. Place your left hand to your left hip. Gaze down at your front right toe. Start to bend your right knee. Shift your weight forward. Step up and take flight. Ardha Chandrasana, your right hand right underneath your right shoulder. And as your back left toes flex, when you feel steady and ready, send your left arm to the sky. Stacking your left shoulder on top of your right. Notice that your left toes are in your sight line. So if you gaze down your body, you can see your toes. So sometimes we've got to bring those toes a little closer to the left side of our mat. Beautiful, you guys, as the arms spread away from each other from the midline of your space. Maybe you start to play with balance a little bit. You could even look up. You could catch the left thumb in your gaze. Take one more deep inhale, half moon. As you exhale, start to bend your right knee. Step back, light on your out breath, warrior two. Inhale, reverse it. Right arm sweeps up and over your head. Exhale, cartwheel the hands to the mat. Step back through the vinyasa, lower slow the elbows in. On the inhale, cobra or up dog, shoulders down the back. Exhale, tuck the toes, firm the thighs as you press everything back. Pause in down dog. Notice that you're not collapsing the forearms to the mat. Continue to lift and project energy into the tips of the fingers as they press. Take a big inhale, stretch everything back. Gaze forward, bend the knees, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, pull the heart out. Exhale, forward fold and melt. On the inhale, sweep the arms out, rise up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Close the eyes for a moment. As the shoulders soften down the back, come back to that intention, that commitment that you made to show up in openness today, to release and to let go of anything that is no longer serving you, any kind of resistance that you're ready to surrender. On the inhale, blink the eyes open, keep the hands at the heart, and just allow the left knee to float toward the chest. And as the left knee floats toward the chest, feel the weight grounded into your right foot. On the inhale, kick your left leg straight out in front of you and flex your toes to your face. Beautiful. See how tall they are? Their shoulders are right over their hips. Keep that as you send your arms to the sky. Palms face each other, low belly, gently drawing up and in. Take a goodbye inhale here. Float back to third warrior. Left leg behind you. See if the arms might be able to stay extended out straight. If it's too much on the back, the hands can come to the heart. The arms can come down by the sides at any point in time. Reaching long from the fingertips to the back of the left heel. Beautiful, you guys. You're going to keep the chest parallel to the mat. Start to bend the right knee a little bit. As you start to bend the right knee, step the left foot back about halfway. Chest parallel to the mat, back left toes pointing gently forward. Feel your low belly lift, feel your front ribs lift as the palms continue to face each other as if you had a light block between the hands. Take one more big inhale here. As you exhale, left hand comes down, right arm to the sky, Parvarita Trikonasana, twisting triangle pose. So the key being that the back left foot continues to stay sealed down toward the mat. So it's not just about the right leg, it's also about the left thigh. What tends to happen is that the back left hip begins to drop a little bit. See if you can continue to lift the left hip up. And as the left hip lifts, the right hip draws down and the right thigh hugs back. Beautiful. Take a big inhale at the top. Open wide across the chest. Exhale, fold over your right thigh, melt in half. You might stay in this variation just for a couple of breaths. If you feel like you want to flex the right toes toward the face and rest on the right heel, take it a little bit deeper into the back of the right leg, you can. And then give yourself a good 3 to 4 breaths here. And after the first breath or so, check in. Did the jaw tighten? Did the mind wander to something else? Is there a way that you can really just come back into this moment? And as if there was a straw from your mouth all the way to your right hamstring, imagine that you could just breathe space into your right hamstring as you fold here. If the right toes are lifted, place the right foot back down toward the mat. Gently gaze forward beyond your right toes. Step your left foot up to meet your right and fold in half. Inhale, glance out halfway. Exhale, forward fold and melt in. On the inhale, bend the knees, drop the hips, circle the arms to the sky, Utkatasana as you sit deep. Keep the knees bent, bring the hands to the heart, left elbow to the right knee, take a twist. Palms might stay connected. If you felt like you wanted to spread and open the arms, you could. Just make sure that the knees stay side by side. And now with the legs a little more open, maybe you have space to sit a little bit deeper than you did in those first couple of chairs. On the inhale, back down the center line, send the arms back to the sky. Exhale, dive and forward fold over the thighs. Inhale, glance out halfway. Exhale, hands down, step or lightly float the toes to the back of the mat. Inhale, cobra or up dog to lift the chest. Exhale, tuck the toes, firm the thighs, press everything back. As you settle the feet the distance of the hips, take an inhale, lift the left leg up and back. Exhale, step the left foot forward, spin the back foot flat. Inhale, first warrior, circle the arms to the sky, just here for a moment to set. As you're ready, open up, second warrior, spread the arms out wide. And then just check in with the base of the body, making sure that the tailbone is gently heavy toward the floor, that the low belly is gently lifting. These are beautiful. Gazing out ahead of the left middle finger, pick one place on the horizon. So of course, one of the keys to settling the body in any yoga practice is settling the eyes on one place. So then as the mind quiets, the body quiets, and we find ourselves in this really beautiful state of union. On the inhale, reach the arms to the sky, interlace all the fingers except the first fingers, point those up high. Draw your right ribs back. Spin your left ribs forward. Beautiful. Keep the length through the sides of the torso. Out halfway as you exhale. Reach the first fingers forward. Keep firming your back right thigh. The back right leg just as strong as the left thigh wrapping underneath you and towards your face. Beautiful. As the right ribs roll back, the heart shines toward the sky, and you notice that the entire time you're breathing as if someone had their hands on the sides of their ribs and you were just filling them up with loving, good, full, deep breaths. On the inhale, back through the center, separate the arms, back to warrior two as you exhale. Inhale to reverse it. Sweep the left arm up and overhead. Come back through the middle, spread the arms out, straighten the left leg. As you straighten the left leg, shorten up the stance, heel toe the back foot in. On your inhale, reach the left arm out, triangle pose, left hand down, right arm to the sky. Beautiful, you guys. Just here for a moment. Feel how the inner thighs hug into the center line of the mat, and at the same time, the outer thighs hug in. So you're so strong in your legs and your base. You have a strong foundation. You're in one of the most stable, steady shapes that exists. Take a big inhale at the top. Right hand to your right hip as you exhale. Gaze down toward the floor. Start to bend the left knee. Make a shift. Step up. Take flight. Half moon. Left fingertips to the pinky toe side of your foot. As you feel ready, sweep the right arm to the sky. And remember, if you're new, if you're at home, your right hand can stay on your right hip the entire time. You have so many options in your practice, so let it work for you today, depending on where you're at. As the right toes draw toward the face, maybe you start to play with balance. You could even look up and peek at the right thumb if that made sense. And with your breath smooth, your belly gently hugging back. Take a goodbye inhale at the top. As you exhale, start to bend the left knee, lightly step back. Warrior two, spread the arms out. Reverse it on an inhale. Left arm up and over your head, pull back. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down to the mat. Step the left toes back, release slow. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, tuck the toes, firm the thighs, press everything back. Pause in down dog, give yourself a moment to reset. Take a big inhale, stretch back, gaze forward, bend your knees, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale as you lengthen, exhale as you forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms out, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Close your eyes. Give yourself a moment just to feel the openness that takes place. Every time you get on your mat, you commit to sweating, you commit to breathing, you commit to being present in the moment. On the inhale, blink the eyes open. Keep the hands at the heart. And as you shift the weight into the left foot, float the right knee up toward the chest. As the right knee floats toward the chest, you'll feel a dance between all four corners of your left foot. That's beautiful. Keep that. Send the right leg straight out in front of you. Flex the toes to the face. Keeping the shoulders over the hips, inhale your arms to the sky. As your arms reach to the sky, notice you didn't bring it into your shoulders, up into your neck, that the sides of your neck stay long. Take a goodbye inhale at the top. Float back to third warrior. Maybe the arms continue to reach straight out. Honor your back. If the hands need to come to the heart or by the sides of the waist, they absolutely can. With your breath steady and your focus just exactly on this moment, start to bend your left knee a little bit. Keep your chest parallel to the mat. Step back about halfway, seal the right foot to the mat, straighten your left leg. Beautiful. Low back is like a tabletop, the left hip hugging back, both hips even and on the same plane. Take one more big inhale, reach the fingertips away from the sit bones. As you exhale, twisting triangle, right hand comes down, left arm sweeps to the sky. Nothing with the base of the body changes. The hips stay exactly as they've been, and the same thing kind of happens for us. What wants to happen is the right hip wants to drop. See if we can, lift the right hip up as you continue to firm the left thigh back. Beautiful. Your sit bones point straight toward the back of the mat. Lean back, open up, take a big inhale at the top. Exhale, fold over your left thigh. Beautiful. As you fold over the left thigh, you can stay just like this for a couple rounds of breath. If it feels right, you have the space, you can lift the left toes up and off the mat and flex the left toes toward the face. And then 3 or 4 really deep breaths. Again, the exhales are there just to help you simply cleanse out any tension, any resistance. And the inhales are there just to help you open, to help you receive. You've made some really good space in the body. You've built some really good heat. Now's the time to let those channels open up. Take one more big inhale here. As you exhale, gaze past your left toes. Step your left foot up to meet your right and forward fold. Inhale, glance out halfway. Exhale as you fold back in. Bend the knees, drop the hips, chair pose. Inhale, circle the arms to the sky. Keep the hips down low, bring the hands to the heart. Right elbow to the left knee as you twist. Dragging the thumbs back by the sternum, continue to pull the heart out. If you spread the arms on the first side, go ahead and spread the arms on this side. Otherwise, stay where you are and just focus on making space across the chest. Focus on the collarbones getting ever wider across your heart. Keeping the sacrum where it is, the hips down low. On the inhale, back to chair pose. Circle the arms to the sky. As you exhale, dive and forward fold. Inhale, glance out halfway. Exhale, hands down, step or lightly float back, lower slow to the mat. Inhale, lift the heart, lift the chest. Exhale, tuck the toes, press everything back. On the inhale, lift the right leg up and back. As you exhale, step the right foot forward to the top of the mat. Stay on your back toes. Pull your heart forward and out. Run your arms down your ribs like wings. And on your inhale, crescent pose. Circle the arms to the sky. Take a deep breath. Pause at the top. Bring your hands to your heart. Lean out halfway. Shift forward back to warrior 3. Step up and take flight. With your left heel flexing, your left heel driving the back of the room away. It's so strong. Take a goodbye inhale here. Release your hands to the mat as you exhale. Pause in standing splits. 2 choices for you. You might walk the hands in either side of the right foot, and you might come back into standing splits. If you have a handstand practice or you're working toward handstand and you'd like to ground the hands the distance of the shoulders, looking between your 2 hands with your left leg so straight, you might take a couple of hops. And that's completely up to you. You might just hop for 5 as you draw the right knee toward the chest for 4. Good. You might hop up for 3. Beautiful. Last 2. And last 1. Take a big inhale. Keep the left leg lifted. As you exhale, place the fingertips to the floor. Look beyond your fingertips. Start to bend your right knee. Drop step your left toes to the back of the mat. As you drop step your left toes to the back of the mat, go ahead and lower your left knee down toward the floor and release the top of your left foot. Take a big inhale here as you pull the chest out. And as you exhale, what we call Ardha Hanumanasana or half splits. The hips are going to pull back. The right toes are going to flex toward the face. So you have a couple of options. If it makes sense for you, you can take blocks and you can place blocks underneath the hands, and we'll just show it here with Brittany so you can see what it's like. As the blocks come underneath the hands, and you can use them at any height, she has all of this beautiful space across her spine. Her spine is so long. She gets to draw her heart forward at the same time that she gets to breathe space into the back of her right leg. And so be here for a moment. Give yourself a good few deep breaths. Half splits is a beautiful place, again, to access the hamstring and to feel into the places where you need to give some extra love, some extra attention, and a little bit of extra time with all of this amazing heat that you've built in your standing practice today. If it made sense for you to stay here, you could stay here. If you have a full splits practice, you could start to slide the right leg forward. You could start to slide the left leg back and come into full splits. If you feel like you're pretty close to that, there's a variation where you can take one of your blocks and you can place it underneath the root of your hamstring. Marielle's going to show that to us here. So with the block at the root of her hamstring, it's like she makes a little bench that she can sit on, and that allows her to stack her shoulders over the hips. And she might stay here, she might stay just like that. And then full Hanumanasana is back to inhaling the arms over the sky, what we call steeple mudra, interlacing the fingers and sending the first finger up high. So you're just kind of flying in the pose, lifting the finger up as the roots of the hips drop down toward the mat. And just taking a couple of breaths, soft in the face, having fun in the pose, even though it's hamstrings, giving these muscles some good deep breath. Wherever you are, take one more big inhale at the top. Exhale, plant the hands back to the mat. Rebend the right knee. As you rebend the right knee, plant the right foot to the mat. Move the blocks out of the way. Tuck the back left toes. Lift the left knee and just step back to down dog. And as you step back to down dog, give yourself a second. See if you need to kind of bicycle out your feet. If you need to heel toe one foot to the next and then the left. And then give yourself a moment to drop back into stillness, finding a still down dog. On the inhale, lift the left leg up and back. As you exhale, step the left foot forward to the top of the mat. Staying on the back toes, pull the chest out forward and long. Run the arms down by the ribs just for a moment. On the inhale, circle the arms to the sky, crescent pose, deep breath as you lift. Stacking the shoulders over the hips, you're just here for a beat. Take a big inhale at the top. Bring the hands to the heart. Lean out halfway as you shift forward, step up. Your last time in third warrior. Outer right hip still spinning toward the mat. Now you've got all this beautiful space in the left hamstring. You can really float. Feeling the low belly lift, take a goodbye inhale at the top. Place the hands down to the mat as you exhale. Same choice here. You might walk the hands in either side of the left foot and really work standing splits. If it makes sense for you to ground the hands the distance of the shoulders, to take a peek between your fingertips, and to hop off of those left toes a couple of times, reaching the right leg toward the sky, maybe hugging the left knee toward the chest, knowing that you can do that for 5. Otherwise, holding standing splits, letting the head hang, letting the breath do its work for a last 3. Maybe you get stuck up there for 2. Take one last deep inhale at the top. Plant the left foot down, keep the right leg lifted, look beyond the tips of the fingers. Start to bend the left knee, drop step the right toes to the back of the mat. Lower the right knee down behind the right hip. As you lower the right knee down, take an inhale at the top. And as you exhale, pull the hips back, flex the toes to the face into half splits. Heart drawing forward and out, just tractioning length across the back, and then folding forward to your own amount. Again, hands could come onto blocks, fingertips could be on the floor. Really serve your body, serve your practice today. And it's totally normal, especially with a pose like this. One side might feel fairly different from the other. For example, because we drive a lot, maybe we use our right leg more than we use our left. So it's natural that there's going to be maybe a different balance between the sides. See if you can just breathe balance into the breath. You might stay here. Half splits is a great place to be. If you'd like to slide toward full splits or modified full splits using the block at the base of the hamstring, then go ahead and find your place. And again, the same thing might apply. On this side, your block might need to be a little bit higher than it was on the first side or a little bit lower. Make an adjustment accordingly. As your left hip draws back and your shoulders stack over your hips, your fingers might stay steady to the floor, but if you have the space, inhale the arms to the sky, interlace the first fingers, reach those up high. Just a movement that you're ready for. Cultivating length across the neck. And without overdoing it, just soften the shoulders down the back. So there's space along the sides of the neck as the arms reach. Super long, feels really good. Take one more big inhale at the top. Exhale, plant the hands down to the mat. Re-bend the left knee, slide the blocks out of the way, tuck the right toes, and step back, downward facing dog. As you pause in down dog, give yourself a moment there, the last time you're here in this shape. Maybe heel toe the feet a little bit, maybe bicycle the legs. Take a big inhale in down dog. As you exhale, lower the knees down to the mat. Crawl the knees forward to the top of the mat. Cross the ankles behind you and roll all the way down onto the back. Hug and squeeze your knees into your chest. Give your knees a nice drawing in. Maybe even making little circles on the ceiling with the sacrum, allowing the knees to go one direction and then into the next. And then just for a moment, reach down, take the outside edges of the feet, happy baby pose, just for a breath. Knees draw down, tail reaches forward. Long, long, long sides of the waist. And maybe now the eyes close. Eyelids getting a little bit heavy. On the inhale, hug and squeeze the knees into the chest. Wrap the forearms around the knees. Bring the forehead up to meet the knees. Squeeze the fingers. Squeeze the toes. Take one last moment here. Create as much tension in the body as you can. Even wrinkle up the face as you squeeze the toes. Every last bit of you that's left that you're ready to release, take one more big inhale and let it all go. Extend the arms, extend the legs. Let the feet fall away from each other. As the palms spin to the sky, the back of the head gets heavy, into this final rest, into all of this openness that you've created. That you created an open heart, an open space to let things soften. Let your body soften, let your energy soften, let your heart maybe even open back up a little bit. Giving yourself a well-deserved and complete final rest. If you're practicing with us at home and you have more time to stay in Shavasana, please do so. It's always such a pleasure practicing with you. Thank you so much. Hope you take this openness into your day. Namaste.